Hello there, fellow bloggers and blog readers from Northern Maine. I'm Paula. I'm sharing a video blog today about my favorite books so far this year. I apologize for the lawnmower in the background. My husband's trying to get the lawn mowed before we have a thunderstorm, which is looming on the horizon as we speak. It's been very hot and humid for Northern Maine, 80-degree weather several days in a row. I'm sure it's going to be record-breaking. So anyway, let's get down to business, what I really wanted to share with you. The first book that I read this year that I absolutely loved was The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah. I lent the book to my sister who was home from New York. Probably won't see it again, but she loved it and I loved it. I believe it was Kristin Hannah's best book yet. The Nightingale takes place in World War II in France. It's a moving, incredibly well-written book. You can fly through it. And I'm not going to tell you a lot about it because it's very popular. You can see reviews all over the place, but I just absolutely loved it. The next book that I read was that I really liked was The Art of Losing Yourself by Katie Ganser. I love all of Katie Ganser's books. She's really good, and I don't have that book in front of me either because I've lent that. So I'm going to let you check that out. I'll put it underneath on my blog so you can get the information as to where to go. Two books that I read that were Christian fiction this year. The first one is Angels of Humility. I love this book. It's fantastic. I don't know if this is going to show backwards, but you can at least see the cover. I bought this on Kindle and for $1.99 because I read the premise and really liked it. And I liked it so much that a friend of mine gave me her hard copy, and then I bought another one through thriftbooks.com so I could lend it out. This book is about the angels that work on our behalf every day that we don't see coming and going, and the power of prayer to affect their comings and goings. I love this. It's a little reminiscent of This Present Darkness by Frank Peretti, which was written decades ago, but not in the context of the mystery part of it. I really liked it. It's easy to read. The next book is also Christian fiction. This is based on a woman in Scripture, the woman who was sick for so many years that came to Jesus. But you don't have to be a Scripture fan, I don't believe, to love this book. It's her journey through incredible tragedy and suffering and rejection. Tessa paints a beautiful picture of this woman's life. You can relate to her. It is not until nearly the end of the book that she encounters Jesus, and I just love this. I love all of Tessa Afshar's books. I've read them all. She doesn't disappoint in The Land of Silence. I really recommend this book. Christian nonfiction on my shelf is Simply Tuesday. I've read this book a couple of times through. I bought it on Kindle, then bought hardcover. I keep it on my desk and go back and read through it. I love the premise. I love the way that Emily Freeman describes things and gives stories and pictures, and I like the way that she talks about the extraordinary in the ordinary, not having to be extraordinary, but that extraordinary just comes forth in the ordinary and little things of life. I really can't say enough about this book. See, I should have picked a page. I open to this. I tend to think my limitations are my burdens, but perhaps they are actually my gifts if I'm willing to see them that way. I just really like this book. And I think we're going to get our thunderstorm. Hopefully I'll get through this before. Switching gears a little bit. Harry Potter, the very first one. No, I am not amongst those that have read them all. And my granddaughter's been after me for years. I finally decided to tackle Harry Potter, and I really enjoyed it. Plan to finish the series, and I have this one on my shelf. I will go to the library and get the rest when as I feel like I want to read them. The other book I read that my granddaughter recommended was Cinder by Melissa Meyer, I believe. I don't have that book because I lent it to my daughter, and that was outside my comfort zone too. I really liked it. Sort of the bionic woman in a Cinderella setting, but not. It's hard to explain, but it is science fiction. It was a really good read, and I plan to read the next one in the series as well. This year I have found a new podcast that I absolutely love. The podcast is called What Should I Read Next by Anne Bogle. I listen to it every week faithfully. When I found it, I was probably 17 episodes behind, and I listened to every one of them back to back. Absolutely loved it. Followed some of her recommendations, and one of those recommendations was The Kitchen House by Kathleen Grissom. This book is a book about slavery. It's a book about Lavinia, who is a white woman who becomes the mistress of a plantation, and the slaves in the kitchen house, the stories behind these women, the African American women, and what they go through. Just checking it out behind me. I love this book. I loved her writing. I went right to the library and got the next one, which just came out, Glory Over Everything, which is the sequel, and I love that one as well. That is has shades of the Underground Railroad, and it was just a really good read. I hope she continues on this vein because I highly recommend this. I also have read several other things. I have several books on my shelf that I'd like to tell you about, but I probably won't, considering the weather we're about to get and my window's open. But I did read a series by Stephanie Grace Whitson. I do like her. She's easy read, Christian fiction. Probably my favorite book thus far this year, 2016, is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. D-O-E-R-R, I believe it is. I don't have that book either. I lent it to my granddaughter, so she has it, but you can find it. It'll come right up on Amazon. Thriftbooks.com is another place that I often shop, where I got The Kitchen House for like $3.99. All the Light We Cannot See. It also is set in World War II. It's a beautifully written novel. There are two main characters. One is Marie Laure of Paris, who's a 12-year-old girl who's losing her sight and does go blind. She has to move to, they have to move away from their home, out of the city, to a home by the sea because of the Nazi occupation. And the novel follows that transition and all that takes place for her. The parts about Marie are magical. I find them just magically written, to see through her senses other than her eyes. The other character is Werner, who is growing up in Nazi Germany, goes to Hitler's youth school for the elite to be trained to be high-end Nazi, and those years in his school are hard reading. I will say it's dark, It's disturbing, but the writing is so wonderful and the story is so good that it pulls you in, and you have to keep reading. And you know that these two young people's lives are going to intersect at some point. I absolutely love this book. I think I rated it 4 stars, if not 5 on Goodreads. If I haven't rated it 5, I'm going back and rate it 5 because I can't stop thinking about it. This is a book I probably would read again, and I don't read a lot of novels again. So I just love this book. Trying to think of what else what I'm reading today. I am reading The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton. Kate Morton's also an author that keeps coming up on the podcast, What Should I Read Next? So I got it on Kindle. It was $2.99, and I'm reading it now and enjoying it. It skipped around a little bit at first, but it's about a little girl who was left on a ship. She was 4, and she had a little white suitcase with her, and somehow she's abandoned. It doesn't tell you how, and a man that works on the ship takes her home and raises her with his family, and on her 16th birthday he tells her the truth. Totally changes her life. Then it skips forward to when she's an old lady, and her granddaughter who has lived with her all her life begins to find out a few things, and that's where I'm at right now. So it kind of skips back and forth at first, but I think it's going to be good. I think I'm really going to like it, and I'm interested because she has so many more, so if I like her, I'm going to continue to read her. Well, I think that's it for today, because I think by the looks of the sky, I better wind it up. Let me know what you're reading, and hopefully we'll meet back here again soon. Thanks for listening. Bye.